Daniel here. Cubase 14 is now out and I want to focus on just a few of the smaller changes that make a big difference. The most notable change is that Cubase 14 no longer supports VST2 plugins by default. There is still a way to get VST2 plugins loaded as follows. Select Studio within the ribbon menu and select VST Plugin Manager. Click the VST2 icon and it will scan and load up any VST2 plugins that exist in the default paths as seen here. Note that this process will not work on Mac computers with Apple Silicon unless you run Cubase under Rosetta 2. Next up, the audio performance monitor now gives much more information on audio dropouts during playback. To open it, you can press F12. I'll play the project I'm working on, which is Crocodile Dundee by Femi J. The panel shows the current audio processing load, hard disk transfer rate, and visualizes any dropouts indicated by the red vertical line, as we see right here, which have been detected during playback. So let me zoom out so it's still in view. It also shows the measurement values for Azure Guard in orange and real time in blue. So I'll pause that. When an audio dropout occurs, the position of the dropout on the timeline is shown and lists the tracks sorted in descending order based on their influence on the processing load, and even provides recommendations to fix. Clicking the recommended action will take you to the location where you can make the change. In this case, my buffer latency is really too low and I just need to raise it to, let's say, 128. And if I play it back now, you can see that the load has dropped noticeably for the real-time measurement and the Azure Guard has remained mostly the same. Now, despite all the new exciting features announced with Cubase 14, like track modulators and the drum machine, the small change made to the bounce selection tool was the actual reason I went for the upgrade. If we bounce select the selected audio on the audio bounce selection, we now have an option to prevent the prompt from ever appearing again. Press replace and let's see where that location is on the preferences, editing audio, and on bouncing rendering audio. So I'm just going to undo that quickly for now. This makes a big difference for macro creation as it finally allows you to use bounce selection effectively. For example, I have a macro that will enable Very Audio on a selected event, and I first bounce the audio in order to speed up the processing time when analyzing notes. So running the macro causes this prompt to appear every time. This time I'll say please don't ask again and replace, and I've previously used auto hotkey as a workaround. Now if I undo the macro operation and rerun the macro, it works as desired. For Windows users, with Microsoft ending Windows 10 support on October 2025, Cubase 14 will likely be the last version that officially supports Windows 10. There's so much more to unpack with Cubase 14 changes, but for now, like and share if this has been helpful, and take care.